Hey, let me tell you about a time when I accidentally snitched on a wholesaler. Alright, so this is how it went. I was searching on Zillow trying to find listings, right? And I ran across this house. It was a good price on the house too. A little bit older, but it would have worked. The numbers would have worked, right? So I decided to drive in the neighborhood, go take a look at this house. I go take a look at this house. I get out the car. I'm walking in the front yard. I'm looking. I'm checking things, seeing, how the house looks, because pictures can be deceiving on Zillow and all those other websites. So I want to check it out. Guess who come driving up? The owner. So the owner was, an older guy, whatnot, and he got to asking me, what am I doing and this, that, and the third. I say, well, you got this house up for sale on Zillow, I see, and you want X amount for it. And he started looking weird. He started looking at me crazy. I'm like, well, you are selling it, right? He's like, my house is not for sale. And I'm like, yeah, it's right here. So I go open up my phone. I go on Zillow. I pull up his address. It says for sale by owner for X amount of dollars. And they never put the owner's name on it or anything like that. It just says for sale by owner. And it does have a phone number on it. So he's like, I didn't put that on there. Me and my wife didn't put that on there. And I said, well, it's on here. So we talked a little small talk. And he finally revealed to me that he did a contract with a young lady. And the young lady told him that she was going to buy the property for a certain amount. And then he was telling me that she wouldn't pick up the phone when he called, that she was bringing contractors in and out of the house because he gave her a key. And later on I found out that those weren't really contractors, those were potential buyers. Basically, this woman was wholesaling. She was a wholesaler, and she was convincing this guy that she was going to purchase the home herself with her own money. But her intentions was to assign that contract to a potential buyer or to an investor, and then she would take the cut. She would take the difference. At that point in time, I was pretty much a rookie still. I didn't know anything about wholesaling. But after that day, I did my research. So, but this lady, she already had this guy under contract. It was nothing he could do about it. The home was tied up. But I did basically give her plan away. And I know that guy, after that day, I know he ended up reaching out to her and, to question her about what was going on and why his house is up for sale on a website. And he did not put that house up for sale on that website or give her permission to, And so I did tell on her. I did snitch on her accidentally. But I got a problem with wholesalers that do business that way. I feel like you can still wholesale, but still let the seller know what you're doing, because the object is to have a win-win situation. At least with me, I think it's ethical to have a win-win situation. Okay, I want money. You're trying to sell this house for whatever reason. Either it's a divorce, the home is in probate, you don't want it no more. You just want to get rid of it. You got to move out of town, go out the country, whatever. It's all kind of reasons why people would be motivated to sell their properties. But for someone to go in there and kind of trick the person into selling the property, I don't like that. I think the proper way is to say, okay, it's possible that I'm going to assign this contract to an end buyer. I have a list of buyers that I'm connected with, and that will possibly purchase your house, and and for me doing this particular job, playing the middleman, I'll get a cut as well. If you just tell the seller that straight up, you'll get this amount, and I'll get this, and then the buyer possibly will get that. I think that's a whole lot more ethical than just going in and trying to act like you're the person going to buy the property, and then you got these people house tied up all this time, and you got their house up for sale online and they don't even know about it. And you have contractors and you have people posing as contractors when they're really end buyers. They're really investors looking to possibly buy the property. I don't think that's good business myself. And I'm actually kind of glad I did reveal it to the guy, even though I kind of did it accidentally. But anyways, that's the story. I forgot to tell y'all. The guy ended up calling me back later on that day, and he had his wife next to him. And he was like, "Young man, tell my wife what you told me earlier." And his wife got on the phone, and I'm polite, I'm respectful. I'm like, how you doing, ma'am? And me and your husband, we talked earlier, and I just told him that I saw your home for sale on Zillow and that I was interested in listing the property for you. And like she was like, our home is not for sale. We already have a buyer. And then she started asking me, why is it online for sale? I'm like, ma'am, I'm not totally sure what's going on. Maybe you should call the person that you're under contract with. And they were like, well, she's not picking up the phone. She's not answering the phone. They got to asking me. They started asking me, well, what can we do, to get out of the contract, and this, that, and the third. And then I had to get them the whole spiel on I'm not an attorney, and they may need to find an attorney, or at the least they need to read the contract and see what the terms are and what they're able to do, or at least when the contract expires, to where they can basically get out the deal. They started whispering in the background amongst each other. Like, I could hear the wife getting all upset and like, I told you. It was crazy, man. I'm like, this is a bad situation for them. But there was nothing I could do. But I mean, that's about as much as I could give them. I didn't have anything to do with it. I kind of stumbled onto it, trying to get a listing for myself, and end up, making their day a bad day. Learning that they kind of was swindled, I guess. I hate to say swindled because wholesaling is not against the law. But they were misled. Let's just say that they were misled. So I got off the phone with them, and I went to doing my research on this whole situation. And man, you wouldn't believe how many people were going through that same situation with these wholesalers, man. And so I'm not against wholesaling, but I am against doing it that way. Because to me, that's basically like fraud, if you ask me. I don't even see how that way of doing it is legal.